right, so now it's time to revisit the third Warriors championship in their history, 1975, which was their first NBA title in the Bay Area, where they swept the Washington Bullets 4-0, and of course MVP Rick Barry. All Warriors fans know Rick Barry is one of the all-time greats for the Warriors. Leading the team all the way to the finals and winning it in 1975. And of course, Warriors, in between, the coming to the Bay Area, and then of course after this title, a lot of misery and heartbreak. So this was a very iconic finals for the Warriors, where they swept the Washington Bullets. And of course, this season, 1975, was interesting because the Warriors were the best team in the West, but the Bullets were far better by record. The Bullets had 60 wins in that season. The Warriors had 48, but the Bullets, definitely were a good team. But, the Warriors knew how to handle them and swept them 4-0. Interesting fact, the Warriors during the 1975 NBA Finals, they played at the Cow Palace in Daly City near San Francisco, of course, due to scheduling conflicts at Oakland Arena, or known as Oracle Arena now. And that's interesting because that's something you really wouldn't see today because, scheduling conflicts during a championship round, kind of strange. But that's the way it was, and it didn't affect them, of course, because the Warriors swept them. Thought I would point out, just because I'm trying to be accurate with the things I wear in these revisiting videos. Of course, this was what their logo resembled, and this is actually a 1975 Warriors championship hat with that patch there. Just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, Warriors had a couple Hall of Famers, of course, Rick Barry, future Hall of Famer, and Jamal Wilkes, as well as their coach, Al Attles, who Warriors all-time great as well. So yeah, Warriors swept 4-0. They beat them pretty nicely, and like I said, this was the first Bay Area Warriors championship, and really the last championship until the recent ones. So yeah, Game 1, the Warriors defeated the Bullets by a final score of 101-95, and the Bullets, of course, hosted this game as they had the better record. Like I said, despite losing this finals, Rick Barry, of course, was great in this series. He just led the way. He was pure dominant. I mean, he averaged 29.5 points per game in the finals. Of course, undoubtedly he was the MVP. In Game 1, he did really good as well. He had 8 field goal makes, and he was just really, really good. 24 points total. Jamal Wilkes, of course, had 10 points, but it was the Rick Barry show. Rick Barry was a superstar. He's a legend for sure. Totally respect that guy. The Washington Bullets, many people forget how good they were. They were a very good team. They had 2 future Hall of Famers in this game, Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld. Of course, now they're known as the Wizards, but before that, they were the Washington Bullets. In Game 1, Elvin Hayes, and he had 29 points, and Bill Chenier had 20 points. So, they weren't a bad team. It's just they couldn't capitalize. Now, in Game 2, the Warriors only won by 1 point, 92-91. And most of these games were close. All of them finished within single digits. It made sense. These were 2 really good teams. Warriors, the best team in the West. The Bullets, I think they were the second best team in the East behind the Celtics, but they were still a very good team overall. But yeah, they were 60-22 that season. Warriors, definitely the underdog, but they knew how to get this done. But yeah, in Game 2, really good victory for the Warriors by 1 point, 92-91. And of course, Rick Barry, 36 points. That is incredible. Just thinking about that now, 36 points for Rick Barry, 14 for Wilkes, and 13 for Charles Johnson. And yeah, they did pretty good in this game. For the Bullets, like I said, a lot of talent on that team. Mike Riordan, he had 21 points, 15 for Elvin Hayes, and 30 for Paul Chenier. He had 30 points as well, like I said. So yeah, they were 2-0 in the series at that point, getting the victory, and yeah, very much in control of the series. Now in Game 3, this was actually the largest margin of victory for the Warriors in this series. They won 109-101, and in this game, of course, Rick Barry did good in this game. He had 38 points, even better. I mean, at this point, people were just giving him the MVP at that point of the series. Incredible. For the Bullets, they had 24 points from Elvin Hayes, but besides that, no one really too notable had that much scoring. Kevin Porter, though, had 21 points for the Bullets. And yeah, the Warriors just did pretty good. They were just feeding the ball to Rick Barry, who was very accurate shooter. You know, in this game, he shot 52%, which is just incredible to think, you know, and very much respectable. Now, in Game 4, the Warriors clinched their first ever Bay Area title, first of, you know, many, you know, considering the recent dynasty era, but we'll get to that in another video. 96-95 in this one. 1-point victory. They won it on the road, and very much a sweet victory. You know, winning by 1 point. Rick Barry, 20 points, but he shared the ball a lot more in this game. You know, 4 Warriors starters finished in double figures. Jamal Wilkes had 12 points, 12 for Clifford Ray. Butch Beard had 16. So that was a great performance. Bullets did good in this game too, and I think it's unfortunate for them they didn't win this, because every game they played well, it's just they couldn't capitalize. So yeah, for them, they had 26 for Paul Chenier, who probably would have won MVP in the series if the Bullets won the championship. Kevin Porter had 19 for Wes Unseld, and Elvin Hayes had 15 points. But yeah, the Warriors clinched it, and you know, it was a sweet victory for them. Unfortunately, they would undergo after this a 40-year championship drought, which is a big drought. But of course, we would, as fans, all of that heartbreak would go away with the next era of championships. But people, you know, sometimes don't realize, before we had our Stephen Currys and our Draymond Greens and our Klay Thompsons, we had our Rick Barrys and, you know, and our and plenty of just great Hall of Fame players, like Jamal Wilkes or Clifford Ray, guys that are kind of just not super well known. I mean, Rick Barry is definitely well known. He has his jersey retired and whatnot. But I think people tend to forget how important in this championship was for the franchise. You know, the Warriors were never really a legit team in their Bay Area tenure. Of course, they had won 2 championships in Philadelphia, but to win it in the Bay and just get that championship, it was sweet. And the Warriors had to defeat Chicago to get here. Obviously, Chicago was not in the East back then, much different alignment. We only had 18 teams in the NBA back then, and to get to the finals for the Bullets, they had to beat the Boston Celtics, who actually had a better record than them in the regular season. Well, same amount of wins, but they were a higher seeding. So yeah, 1975. That's probably one of my favorite Warriors championships, even though I didn't live to see it, just because I respect the history of it. And I think people tend to forget how good it was. Al Attles, of course, Hall of Famer for the Warriors. He was a coach, and he obviously was a player as well. Interesting finals, and I think the Warriors, you know, definitely were great. And, you know, they faced some adversity. They were the worst team in this by record, by 12 games. You never really see a team, you know, losing 12 more games than the other opponent, just sweeping them. Also, the Warriors were playing in an unfamiliar arena, the Cow Palace, which many Bay Area people know is probably not the most pleasant arena to play in, instead of Oakland Arena. So, yeah, Rick Barry, incredible. 30-plus points in multiple games. 38 points was his highest. MVP, of course. I mean, how could you count him out? So, yeah, guys, that'll be it. Next finals will be 2015, so we have to fast forward 40 years, and that'll be a lot, you know, easier to talk about because it's more recently. But this is a great finals to talk about as well. 1975, the Warriors sweep the Bullets 4-0. So, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and, yeah, go Warriors.